With the new God of War game releasing to rave reviews, quite a few people are saying that its success is proof that Marvel's Thor needs his own game. While that's an understandable reaction, there's a different hero who is far more deserving: DC's Wonder Woman. What's up everybody, my name is Joshua Yale, and I've got issues with the idea that God of War's success means Thor needs his own game, especially considering that Wonder Woman naturally lends herself to the video game experience with her wide array of tools for fighting evil, her deep mythology full of gods and monsters, and a recent comic book run that's essentially a ready-to-use blueprint on how to make her game one worthy of the gods. There's little wonder why many have said that God of War proves Thor needs his own game because, well, God of War pretty much is a Thor game. On the surface, anyway. Kratos journeys through the realms of Norse mythology, clashes with their legendary figures and creatures, and he even uses an enchanted axe that he can magically summon back to his hand, just like Thor's Mjolnir. But with the Avengers due to get their own game from Marvel Games and Square Enix, the chances of Thor getting his own game anytime soon are zilch. Which is fine, because a Wonder Woman game could be even better. DC Entertainment and Rocksteady Studios proved they excel at creating an engrossing gaming experience centered solely around one hero with the Batman Arkham series. The feeling of being Batman in those games was a pitch-perfect comic book adrenaline rush, so imagine what they could do with a demigoddess as a playable hero. Her tiara's a killer long-range weapon, her bracelets let her deflect projectiles like a Jedi, and removing them could let her unleash her godly rage mode. Sound familiar? She can whip and constrain her foes with her lasso of truth, not to mention compel them to cough up important information like in Shadow of War. We've seen many of these elements and more incorporated into her video game appearances over the years, but usually just as moves in a fighting game like we see in Injustice. But a solo game would let these abilities shine in extraordinary fashion as Diana battles enemies, solves puzzles, and topples gargantuan bosses. Now, we've seen various Wonder Woman stories in comics, TV shows, and movies since her creation in 1941, so it might seem overwhelming as to which version to base the game on, but DC Comics have a pretty clear answer: the New 52 version of Wonder Woman by writer Brian Azzarello and artist Cliff Chiang. It was a reboot of the character, so it's completely accessible. It reinvented Wonder Woman's comic as a horror story where the gods were more like a manipulative crime family, making it feel like The Sopranos meets Game of Thrones. It put her up against Apollo as he vied to take the throne on Mount Olympus as she struggled to both take on his minions and reconcile the true nature of her godhood. And in classic video game fashion, Wonder Woman started off without most of her weapons and powers, so as the story went along, we saw how she got her various signature abilities and accessories. And if it could be any more on the nose that Wonder Woman needs a game like Kratos is, in the story, she also becomes the God of War. While of course the game devs would only use this comic as an inspiration for the game and not follow it to the letter, it certainly makes for a fine basic blueprint on how to get things started. And yes, there was a recent rumor that Superman is the next DC hero in line to get a AAA game from Rocksteady. But let's be real, Wonder Woman's popularity has never been higher thanks to last year's smash hit movie that showed the world was yearning for a powerful, confident, and noble female hero. Plus, Wonder Woman would totally kick Superman's ass in a fight, so she should be given his place in line. Don't even get me started, he was raised on a farm, and she was raised on a Magic Warrior boot camp island. She would utterly destroy him, but that's an argument for another time. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of a potential AAA Wonder Woman game in the comments. And for more from my I've Got Issues video series, check out how Avengers Infinity War finally gave us the true Doctor Strange from the comics, or how the return of Wolverine has been one big mess. And be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.